Well, hello there. This will be a complete walkthrough of Solomon's Key. This game was released in 1986 by Tecmo. I played it plenty back in the late 80s. I even finished it, which back then, would have to record anything from the Nintendo through the VCR. And I do have a bunch of games that I recorded on this channel, mostly of me finishing a game, because it didn't record through the whole thing because it wasn't digital. You couldn't just record it and edit the video very easily. But you couldn't really edit it at all because it was on a VHS tape. So a lot of the recordings that I had were just of the very ending of the game. I'd play the game, get to the end, start recording. So I have about, I don't know how many videos on this channel of me recording games back in the late 80s when I used to play. And this is one of the games that I had finished. But back then, I did have a Nintendo Power Magazine subscription. I guess at the time, I didn't know there was different endings to this game. But there are actually a couple different endings. And that just depends on what you find throughout the game, the different items that you collect. So what I wanted to do was record a full run-through of this game, which took many, many tries to get that right. I did die a few times, but to be able to play from start to finish and make sure I collected every single item, or at least found every item, or at least revealed every item. I know there's a couple walkthroughs on YouTube that are 5-10 years old, I think, and they're not the greatest quality because they're older, but they don't show you everything, I guess. So what I attempted to do here was go through each and every room and show where everything in that room is. So this is just going to be a complete walkthrough and explaining each room, explaining some of the different items, and showing you where everything is. Now, some of the rooms, I had to use some walkthroughs online because I couldn't, because as you get to the ending rooms, like in the 40s and higher, they're actually a little more complex puzzles, because it's like a puzzle game. You go through 50 different rooms. The entire goal is to get the key, open the door, and get out of the room. Which for a lot of beginning rooms is pretty simple. You get the key, you get out of the room. But for some of the ending rooms, it is more of a puzzle on how to get out of the room. And, 30 some years later, I couldn't for life remember how to get through some of these rooms. So I found a walkthrough online. Wasn't the greatest, to be honest, as far as the explanation for some of the rooms. So I'm hoping this can be like a full walkthrough, show you everything that you can possibly get in each room. And I'll try and explain monsters and items and everything as I go through each room. Some of the rooms are fairly quick, and then I'll explain some of the other rooms as I go through. So like I said, basically it is broken up into 50 rooms, and in every fourth room there is a zodiac symbol that you need to collect to get you into a hidden room. And each of the hidden rooms are basically the same as far as items. You get a set amount of items that you can collect in there, and of course you're on a time limit because your life just ticks down as you start the game, but you can find items that'll boost your life up. So basically you're on a timer for each room, so you don't have unlimited time for each room. But once you get to that every fourth room and you collect that zodiac symbol, you can go on to the hidden room and basically get some bonus items. There are also some wings. There's 5 different wings, and if you collect those, that'll warp you ahead. I believe it's 5 rooms. There's also different items you can collect throughout each one. There's a silver coin, 2 silver coins, a gem, gold coin, 2 gold coins, another gem. Well, there's a kind of a turquoise gem and a yellow gem, I guess. There's a gold star coin, 2 gold star coins, and there's another yellow gem with kind of a yellow outline to it. And basically each of those are points. So silver coin is at 100 points all the way up to that last gem, which is 50,000 points. And there's a bunch of magic items along the way, and I will go through and explain those as I get them throughout the game. There's also some jewels you can collect, which give you points. And there's also bottles and timers. And the bottles basically give you more time. There's a half bottle, your leftover time will be doubled. And then the full gray bottle multiplies it, I think, by a factor of 5. And there's a yellow or an orange hourglass, which cuts it down to 5,000. Or if you're below 5,000, brings you up to 5,000. And there's a green turquoise hourglass, which restores your timer to the original setting, which is 10,000. And now for this walkthrough, I put in a code to start my timer at 40,000 instead of 10. And the only reason I did that was to be able to show you everything in the room. Otherwise, I just wouldn't have time to show you everything. So that's the only reason I did that. So once my timer dropped below 30,000, that's basically your clue that I wouldn't have lived. I wouldn't have made it. Because once your timer reaches 0, you're dead. Then you start the room over. So I put that code in there basically to allow me to go through the entire room and show you everything. There's also a yellow jar, which basically destroys everything in the room. And then there's an extra life jar. And there's a couple interesting items, bonus items, that give you a lot of points. There's like a paper crane looking thing. It's 100,000 points. There's a face coin. It's 200,000 points. There is a sphinx that's 500,000 points. And a sphinx head that's 1,000,000 points, which I don't recall seeing that. A couple other items. There's the zodiac panels that you collect every 4 rooms. There's 8 Solomon seals. There's a page of space and a page of time, which once you collect those seals, you can get into those special rooms. And then there's the final Solomon's book at the end. There's also Mighty Bomb Jack, which you come across him twice, which is really weird and random because you have to hit a block 11 times and then he comes out. Why 11 times and why is that so random? I have no idea. But if you collect him, everyone turns into a fairy, 10 fairies, and you get an extra life. There's also they call it a Tecmo plate, which looks like a bunny, which I've run across that a few times in there, and you can't collect it. At least I couldn't collect it. And I guess I didn't check this before I played, but it starts out as gray, and then if you hit it with your wand, it turns color, and then you can collect it, and it just gives you points. So I got it. I show you where it is in the level, but I didn't know how to collect it. So I just left it there. You also get a magic lamp, gives you 500,000 points. And the gold wings, you warp ahead 6 stages. So if you collect the wings, it jumps you forward 6 stages. Which if you just want to get the end is fine. It'll warp you ahead. If you want to be able to collect everything and get the full complete ending, you do not want to get those. And I'll run through the enemies really quick. There's basically goblins, which is the first monster you'll see in the very first level. There's gargoyles, there's dragons, demon heads, salamanders, wyvern, depends on how you pronounce it. Don't kill me, but I call it wyvern. There's ghosts, there's gnolls, which are like ghosts basically. Chimera, which is equivalent to a wyvern. There's a spark ball, panel monsters, which shoot fireballs at you. There's also an arcade version of this game that has all their different monsters and stuff in there, but there's also earth mages, which looks like a little wizard with a big wooden spoon. That's what it looks like to me. There are blue flames, which you cannot kill, you just have to get them out of your way. There's red flames or orange flames that can be extinguished, so if you remove the block that they're on, they fall down, they go away. Chimera mirrors, that's enemies come out of those. And there's devil emblems, which is like another mirror, but it looks like a bat. Okay, that was a lot of information before we even got started. So I apologize for that a little bit, but I just want to get all that information out there, kind of give you kind of an overall before we get started, because if we get started, I'm probably going to forget half of that stuff and won't even cover it. So I wanted to get that out of the way, give you an idea of all the items. I'm probably not going to talk through each room necessarily, but I'm going to cover some key points as I go through each room. Okay, so here we get started. Solomon's Key, stage 1. Oh, and there it has it right at the beginning. 1987 Tecmo. Okay, so this first room is not much to do. Like I said, you get the key. That was the goblin. And you have 2 fireballs at the top. So basically, well, let me cover this. So right here is one of those diamonds. So if you hit that, it changes to different items. Those little base things is the fireball. Basically, the goal is to get the key and get out of the room and collect fairies. Fairies, like I said, 10 fairies gives you an extra life. Fairies can be kind of annoying sometimes because for the most part, they come towards you so you can get them. Sometimes they get stuck and they just sit in certain spots. Like this one here, there's that orange bottle. That'll kill all the enemies on the screen, which is not true because it doesn't kill certain enemies that I found out later. And since I had fireballs, and I can collect another one right there, I used a fireball. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, and the little bells will give you a fairy. What you want to do is collect scrolls. Right now you have a scroll long enough to hold 3 fireballs at the top there. And what you want to do is get more scrolls to give you more room to hold fireballs. And the fireballs that I have there are just a normal fireball. You shoot it, it'll kill 1 enemy. One up in the corner there. Shoot it, it will kill one enemy. Super Fireball, you'll be able to see it's a large fireball, and that will... It has a time limit, so it goes so far, and whatever's in its path it will kill. So those Sparkies, one thing you want to get good at is trapping Sparkies. Like those two I've trapped at the top to get them out of the way. Now here, since I get another Fireball down there, I'm going to go up here and use the Fireball on these two dragons. And what you can do is you can trap them. Oh, there, I didn't get anything good. But what you can do is you can trap that one by its tail. It's kind of a fluke, but you can trap it by its tail. And other enemies, if you hit a brick next to an enemy, sometimes it will turn around and come at you. So be careful of that. But if you trap those two, and the other one comes over, and the other one starts shooting fire, and you shoot off a fireball at it, a lot of times you'll get like a scroll, or a 1-up, or 2 1-ups, or 2 scrolls, or, you know, you can get some pretty good items. So in a room like this, where you want to get good at trapping the Sparkies, and there's your Zodiac panel that you collect. That'll bring you to the hidden room, which is the next room. So instead of going to room 5, you skip and you go to room... Well, not a room, but you skip and go to a hidden room before you go to stage 5 or level 5. So for a lot of the first few levels, I don't use a lot of fireballs unless there is a fireball that I can collect in that room. And you can use fireballs on some of these monsters, and a lot of times they will give you something good. Now the bag is just points, it doesn't really give you much, but since I get another fireball, I just used it up. Okay, in the hidden room, there is 6 items you can get in here. You get a fairy bell. Well, minus all the coins and jewels and stuff like that, you can get an additional fairy bell. You can get a blue diamond, which will give you a fireball. Or you can switch that and get other items. You get 1 orange diamond. I take that back, 2 blue diamonds and 1 orange diamond. There's an orange hourglass, which will bring your time down to 4,000, 5,000, and a half gray bottle, which will bring your time up. So if you get the half gray bottle right away, okay, so there's the orange one. So that gives you a scroll, a bell, and a super fireball. To start with, just get as many scrolls as you can. That'll give you more room to get more fireballs. And if you get a gray bottle, that'll give you a lot more time to find all these items. And since I don't really need anything else in here, since I got the scroll and I got the fireballs, I just went out. I didn't need to look for anything else. This room is fairly straightforward. You either just get the key and go right to the top, or like I'm doing here, I go through and I knock down each monster. You just need to watch out for fireballs coming from the other side. And that top right one always gives you a fairy. And in the bottom right corner is a coin. That's the only hidden item in this room. Right there. Like I said, you have a timer for each room, and that's your life at the top. And normally you start with 10,000. So like I said, if you just imagine that once it gets down to 30,000 exactly, I would be out of time and I would be dead. So keep that in mind as I'm going through if you want to, if you even care about that. But now this one I shoot off 2 fireballs because you get 2 fireballs right away. And if you can time it just right like that, you can get those first 2. So you get a super fireball, which is that big fireball. And then you also get one in the corner here, just a regular fireball. There's also a fairy bell. It's up in that corner right there. And those goblin things out the bottom, if they see you, they will come running at you, which you'll see here in a second. All you have to do is just jump over them. So this stage, there's 3 hidden items. One right there, one on the top left, and one on the top right. The top right is a thing. Wow, drawing a complete blank. Wings. And the top left is a hourglass, which don't necessarily want to get either one of those unless you want to warp ahead. But and this is another room that you want to get good at trapping Sparkies, because they will get in your way, and if you're not paying attention, one will sneak up behind you. Not that they would sneak up behind you. So there's the wings. But for the amount of times that I just haven't been paying attention to them, and they sneak up behind me and I'm just not seeing them. Another thing with Sparkies, especially with a room of Sparkies like this, if you want to start using fireballs on them, like if you would use a super fireball and start taking out a bunch of them, the rest of them start getting faster. So something to keep in mind. So just want to get good at redirecting them or trapping them. And now since we're on stage 8, we got another Zodiac Shrine at the top. This room is pretty much straightforward. There's some hidden items on both sides right here. And then 2 directly above that, and then 4 on the other side as well. So basically what you want to do is you want to, if you can time this just right, you can fall down the middle, but it's kind of a pain. I've tried it a couple times, but since there's 2 fireballs there, just take out those 2 middle ghosts with a fireball, and that'll just let you jump right down the middle. And the other side, this side here, has 2 fairy bells that you can collect. And then now that you have the Zodiac symbol, this will take you to the hidden room. Like I said, the hidden rooms are all the same. you get the same 6 items basically. They're just in different locations throughout the room, so they just keep getting moved around. And then there's a bunch of other items that'll give you points. But basically it's those 6 items. Fairy bell, 2 blue diamonds, 1 orange diamond, 1 orange hourglass, and a gray bottle. And one thing to be careful for, or as you're going through this, because you're on a kind of a time limit, of course, so you're trying to go through this as fast as you can and or open up as many blocks as you can, basically. A lot of times when you're moving and hitting, you'll hit the item and you'll go right through it and collect it, like especially those diamonds. So go fast, but take your time, be careful, I guess. And all I'm looking for that orange one, of course, because I need to get a scroll. And then once you've maxed out your scroll, which I think I can get 2 or 3 more scroll pieces, and then I'm maxed. So once you do that, coming to these hidden rooms, the only point would be if you need more fireballs, then you can get basically up to 3 more fireballs. You can get a super fireball and 2 regular fireballs if you're out. I didn't end up using a lot. I mean, I used a few fireballs here and there throughout this, but I didn't use a lot of them. And then when you get to the last level, when you really need all the fireballs, they take them all away from you. So keep that in mind. I think I had all, however many it is, 6, 8 fireballs, something like that. But you get to the last level and they'll go away. Okay, so this is the first room that has Solomon's seal. So basically you want to work up one side and then down the other. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can either put that center block there so you fall down and you want to go into that little area right there. There's another way you can do it where you leave that open, and when you fall you are able to hit your wand and jump. There's that little symbol, so you need to collect that. You want to collect all 8 of those to get to the other 2 hidden rooms, to get the pages, just to get the better ending. I mean, you can still finish the game, you just get a better ending at the end. Now normally you could just jump over those 2. I used the super fireball. Didn't quite reach that goblin head thing. And those heads are pretty straightforward. You just put a block there and they go the other direction. Now with that flame, you can't jump over that flame unless you hit it with your wand first, and then it goes down, and then you can jump over it. If you were trying to jump over it without doing that, you would die. And as you see, I put that block next to the heads that came down. Didn't need to do that because they weren't coming towards me. It's just kind of a habit that I do just to block off that area so other monsters don't come towards me. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. I just go over the top of them. Collect the scroll. Yeah, I think I can get one more. So I can get one more scroll page, and I think that's maxed. This one is kind of a pain. You just want to trap these first two sparkies. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this that I've seen for the walkthroughs, but what I've done here, so basically I'll let these sparkies out, but at the same time I want to make a trap on the left side there to where they can't come after me because they're fast. And just make a wall there to keep them trapped over there. And that gray bile just fills up your life, gives you more time basically. There's one hidden item right here. Just a coin. And this one here, you get two fireballs. You get one at the bottom there and one at the top, which is a super fireball. I was hoping to get some item from him, but didn't get anything. These guys are kind of a pain because once you get close enough, they shoot fire at you. And it has a little bit longer range than you would think, so it's kind of annoying. So if you're standing like I am there on the side of the brick and they came down, they would hit you with their fire. Oh yeah, and there's a fairy bell here. And I just used that fireball because I was going to get another super fireball. And like I said, 10 fairies, you get an extra life. Just need to collect the last shrine, and that is it for this room. Just don't fall through the hole like I did. And then you can just go across the top and you're done. Oh, there is one other, there's a coin up at the top as well. Like I said, for the most part, the fairies try their best to work their way towards you. But sometimes they get stuck, sometimes they just don't move at all. And since I have fireballs to use up here and I get more, I'm just going to use a couple on these monsters. Oh, one thing about shooting fireballs, it's like those two I shot when I was crouched down. I did that for a reason. Well, the first dragon one wouldn't have mattered. Okay, so now I'm maxed out with the scroll. So when you are standing and shoot a fireball, it just goes straight until it hits a wall and then goes up or down. But if you're crouching and shoot a fireball, it hugs the floor that you're on. So like that goblin guy at the top, I crouched down so it stayed on the bricks and just didn't go straight across. Which in this case really wouldn't have mattered. But in some cases, if you don't want the fireball to go shooting across the room and just randomly go up a wall, and you want to stay on the floor, just make sure you crouch down. Just like that. Just because I was jumping and moving, I almost ran right into that thing. Which would have been fine. I would have collected it. I wouldn't have had much time to go through the rest of the room, but I think I'm just looking for the last fireball. Well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered if I would have hit that one or not, because possibly could have found that gray one, which would have bumped me way up. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, normally you do not have this much time to go through here unless you get that gray bottle. That will give you a ton of time. But I think even with that gray bottle, I don't think that's even enough time to get through the entire room, but it will get you most of the way through. Oh, and that thing I just collected. 2 of them. So those little kind of pink blue bottles will give you a super fireball, but it gives it to you right at the very beginning. There's the shrine right in the middle. That's the second one. So those little pink bottle things will, like I said, give you a super fireball, and it just changes your first fireball into a super fireball. So now I have 2 super fireballs. There's a little quicker way to get up there, like I'm doing. I'm just taking the slow and steady route, just so I don't screw it up. Now with these Sparkies, since I do have a super fireball, I could just use it on the Sparkies and kill them all and be done with it. And there's a hidden coin there as well. But if for some reason you do not have a super fireball, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little trap over here on the side for these Sparkies. Just like that. And now they're trapped. So now I can go down and get the key, and I can get all the way to their side without any problems. Oh, and there's 2 fairy bells in the bottom. But if you didn't do that either, you had to kill them all with a fireball. Well, a super fireball. Fireball would only kill one of them. Or you would need to let them out, and then they would go all over the entire room, and you'd have to spend the rest of your time getting over to the door while avoiding all the Sparkies. Those 2, you can usually get both fireballs. Yeah, so if you do that, you can get both of them if you need them. But some of those jumps and moves like that can get a little tricky. Even I have problems with them. So on this next stage, there's a extra life, key, and a bell, and some gems, and 2 blue hourglass things, one on each side. This room always trips me up. It's not overly hard, but I always manage to just do stupid things here. This time I managed not to, but... So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to get the one up first, which is right below the mirror right there. But you want to, like I open up that space below there, because when these monsters come down, they'll start getting rid of a lot of the bricks that you're on, and you die. So to get the one up first, the key is on the opposite side, and there's another blue hourglass on their side as well. Yeah, cut that a little close, but a bunch of little crystal things there for points. There's the other blue hourglass. And the key is right up at the top. And I think this is the only one that has the key hidden in a block, from what I recall. It's like that block, I can't break it no matter how many times I hit it from underneath. I can hit it from the side and get the key, but you can't hit it from underneath. And then I'm just going to drop these monsters down to the bottom, so I can go straight to the door. There's only one door, which somewhere in the 40s, I think, or early 40s level, that you want to jump into the door from the top. And I didn't do it, but it's kind of handy. Makes the game a little bit quicker, but you don't have to do it. But outside of that, you can just go into the door from any direction. Doesn't really matter. Another blue hourglass. This is another room that has a warp down at the bottom. Also has a orange bottle at the top there and a bell right there. So as you see, this is not going to kill that ghost. I just made myself a stair so I can get up there a little bit quicker. Didn't time that quite right because the ghost was in my way. And then just put two little walls right there, or two bricks there, and trap them. Pretty simple. This one's kind of a pain. There's a couple different ways you can do this. Instead of the orange or red flames, you drop them, they die. I was hoping to make it through here. You can get 2 fireballs, but I didn't really want to waste my 2 super fireballs in exchange for normal fireballs. So I was hoping just to make it through this room without using it, but from what I recall, I went through at the bottom and almost died, so I just used it. And I got another super fireball anyway. Almost died a second time right there. So that's really it. There's just the Zodiac one at the top. There's really no hidden items. Oh, I guess those 2 are hidden. Just for points. So at this point, there really isn't much to the bonus rooms for me because I can't get any more scrolls. And I'm maxed out on fireballs, so the only thing I can really get is extra fairy bells. And since I can get a fairy bell out of that thing, got an extra fairy bell, and there's really nothing else to do. Now if you have a super fireball, this makes this room way easier. You just kill everything like I did. There is a fairy bell, and this is the first room with the Mighty Bomb Jack. There's only 2 rooms that have him. So basically, if you didn't have a super fireball going into this room, you're basically going to have to move and trap all these Sparkies, which gets to be quite a pain. And you're on a time limit, so there's that. So now on that far brick there, if you hit it 11 times, Mighty Bomb Jack will come out, collect him, and that will turn everybody, well, it'll turn all the monsters into fairies. Just interesting little thing, but now also in this room is another one of the seals, which is up at the top right. There's also a gray full bottle right in the center of the room, and some gold coins in the far left. So like I said before, if you don't really care about collecting everything and just want to get to the end, just getting the key and getting in the door is usually pretty simple and straightforward for the most part. It's just a matter if you want to collect everything or not. This one, there's a little fairy bell there. And it helps if you put a brick like I did underneath that flame. Well, under both of those flames really, because you can either go all the way across the top and drop down to the door, or if you can't, get rid of that gargoyle over there, you can drop straight down to the bottom and just get to the door from the bottom, as long as you put those bricks there to stop those flames from dropping down. And up here is the key and the bell. So as you can see, what I did is I just put a little wall there, or a little floor, and it just traps those guys there. And then you can just go over the top. So since I didn't need that fire trap from going underneath the bottom, I just went across the top. This stage is very annoying, as you will soon see. You have 2 Sparkies and you have Salamanders. So a lot of the walkthroughs will tell you to trap those 2 Sparkies kind of down the bottom right. Easier said than done, but it can be done. Since I have super fireballs, I don't remember if I used super fireballs here or not. Oh, yeah, I did. It'll get rid of the Sparkies and everything for you. The only reason I say that is because, like I said, I played this game probably about a week ago now. Well, I spent almost 2 weeks playing it, trying to get through. I wasn't necessarily trying to get through without dying, but I wanted to try and at least get through the entire thing and collect everything. And I just kept running into problems and not being able to show all the items. So like I said, that's when I add that code. It gave me some more time, and that allowed me to do that. And then it was just a matter of practice to get through all of it, because it's been quite a long time since I played this game. So there's that first gold coin with the face on it up there, and a super fireball, or a gold diamond up there. And there's another shrine right there. Seal, I guess. And the thing about the extra lives is if you don't collect them and you die in that same room, they will be gone. I'm going to super fireball down the bottom, which I don't think I got. Yeah, I died. Anyway. Yeah, those sound landers are hard to jump over because they stop to shoot fire, and then it gives you no space to jump over them because you can only jump so far. So now if I would have died and I didn't get that 1-up jar, it would be gone. It's basically you have to get it the first time you go through that room, otherwise it's gone. It's kind of annoying, but it's a thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to trap the Sparky down here. And what you can do with Sparkies, I don't know why I didn't trap them in that time, but I had to wait for some reason. What you can do with Sparkies is if you make a block and they're on that block and you can remove that block, they will go off in whichever direction they are on the block, if that makes sense. It's like if they are going up one of the sides of the block and you destroy the block, they will just keep going up until they hit another wall and then stick to that wall. Or if they're going left to right on either the top or the bottom and you destroy the block, they'll just keep going straight until they hit a wall. So this one, when you first get into that room, if you start doing that, where you're pressing A and using your wand, it will let you move up to get the key. Weird, but it'll let you. So the first thing you want to do is get those 3 blocks down at the bottom, because you'll need those. This is kind of a weird one. You're basically making a bunch of steps for yourself. You start on that side, and then you work your way to the left. Or no, work your way to the right, and then back through the center, off to the left side. That one is the hourglass. Now that one right there that I just jumped over, I forgot to put a brick right there, right in the center of the screen next to that mirror. And as you'll see, I will fall down and I won't be able to get past that, so I'll have to make myself a brick and go back through it again. Also in this one, there is a hidden zodiac right there. And in the top left is that rabbit. See, I can't make the jump all the way across there. So I kind of screwed myself. So I'd fall down, have to make a brick there, and then go back across the right side and up and over again. But over on the top left side, there's the bunny. And at the time, I've gotten a couple of these. There's a couple rooms with bunnies in them. I think 2 or maybe 3, I don't remember. But you get them, and then I couldn't get it. It just was there. Because either I didn't remember or I completely forgot that once you get them, you have to hit them again, and they will turn. Right now it's black and white. So you can't get it, you can't do anything. So if I would have hit it again, which I don't know why I didn't do, I just didn't know that or forgot or whatever, but if you hit again, it turns color, and then you get it. Gives you, I think it was 500,000 points. But items like that. Oh, and here's the first special room. These ones are kind of a pain because, so one item up in the top corner there, but it looks like you can't get the page. But if you get the key, those 3 bricks right there you can break. The bottom one's a little more tricky, and I screwed up the first time I went through. But you have to go hit your wand on the door and then destroy the brick at the bottom in order to get to it. Otherwise you're trapped. How would you ever figure that out without getting online or Nintendo Power or something? No idea. But back then we didn't have the internet, so the only way of finding that out would have been Nintendo Power, which I don't recall seeing that in there. I mean, I might have read it, but so long ago that I don't remember. Oh, there's also another symbol in this one too, or seal. Just right by the door there. And then just up and over and get to the door. And that was another thing back then. You didn't have internet access, so you could just find out how to get through a room and or where all the items were. So it was a matter of trying to figure these out on your own and or going through each room, because there was many times I did that where I just went through each room making and destroying blocks to try and find where all the hidden items were in each room. And I probably had papers somewhere. I don't know if I still have them or not. Well, yeah, I do. Somewhere. Where I would write down where all the items were in each room. Because I had 4 books. So I had 4... they weren't loose leaf books, but they weren't like full-on notebooks. They were like a... size of about a tablet, I suppose, or a small iPad, where I would just keep notes from games, because, I mean, we had a few Nintendo Powers back then to look through, but outside of that, it was a matter of, you know, if you played the game and you wanted to remember everything, you would write it down, or you would save it or something. So there's one of those little horse things. I don't know what you would want to call it, but it just gives you points. But anyway, this books that I had, like a lot of games would have passwords. So if you get to a certain level, you get a password to be able to continue off where you left off. And this room, you're supposed to be able to just drop right down through the middle of those. I've tried that many times, and I could never get the timing right. But it says as soon as you get in the room, you're just supposed to fall off the edge there. I basically kind of said screw it and just use a super fireball. But with the way the timing is, as soon as you enter the room and you can move, you can fall straight down. But I've tried that many times and just, I could never get it timed right, I guess. And this one you're going to want to go squish the fire, jump over them, just barely. Get up here, put a block there, otherwise you're not going to be able to get the key. So you just can't jump that far. And then up in the top left corner, there's a bunch of items in that square up there. Anyway, my 3 books. So what I don't remember when or how I got them, but oh, I was looking, there's a fairy bell over there as well, which I was going to go get, but maybe I already got it, I don't know. Oh, no, it was already there. It wasn't hidden. For some reason, I was thinking it was hidden, but so anyway, I got these 3 books, and basically kind of used each page as a different game to write down passwords, which would let you continue where you left off before all the memory cards and, you know, hard drive space you could save all your games in. You'd have to write down passwords. And some passwords for games were pretty simple and straightforward, and some were these big, long, complex passwords that you'd have to enter in to continue where you left off. So I had these books that were just full of those passwords. And in one of the books in the very back, I would keep track of all the games that I beat. And the reason I said this, before I get into that, this room is pretty straightforward. You just kind of move the Sparkies out of the way. Collect some coins. Oh, the Zodiac things in the bottom right down there, as you'll see. But you basically just move the Sparkies out of the way or trap them and just kind of continue on. Just go across the bottom, go through the middle, and then go up and over the top, basically. But yeah, on the back of the book I would have, every time I would beat a game, I would write down the game. So I have this huge list of games that I beat. And I finally got to a point where I was like, well, I'm just going to get rid of these books, because I've been saving them forever. Since like the early 90s, 80s, late 80s, early 90s. But I didn't really want to just destroy them, so what I'd end up doing is I ended up scanning them in. So I have all these books saved. And there's a scroll there, which didn't do me any good because I'm maxed out. But so I still have all these books digitally scanned in that still have all passwords and all the games that I beat. And I don't know, to me it's kind of cool. I'm sure other people probably will think it's cool too, but you gotta make sure you get a brick above that fire there, otherwise you won't be able to jump down. Yeah, I would keep, I don't know what else I kept in there. I haven't looked at them in forever, but I kept passwords in there. All the games that I beat, I'd kept in there. Oh, as I would go through, as I would get the Nintendo Powers, any games that I had, that I owned, I would write down any little notes or tips or tricks for certain games, just to have them handy so I didn't have to go look for them. Oh, Oh, there was also a lot of artwork in there too. I took like 5 years of art in high school. So I had a bunch of little doodles and drawings of different games. I think the only thing I'm looking for in here is a super fireball, since I already have scrolls. We are about to be halfway through stage 25 next. Yeah, we didn't have a ton of money growing up, but we did own a handful of games, I think. Probably maybe a dozen games, if that. We had an Atari with just a handful of games. And then we got the Nintendo. Sometime in the early 90s we got a Super Nintendo. We only got a handful of games for that. But the original Atari, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo I still own. I don't have the Atari anymore. I sold that back in 2008, I think, or 2009. But the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo that I had back from the 80s and 90s, I still have those. This level is, we'll just call it fun. As you can see, you got heads rolling each direction, you got sound liners coming down. It's just kind of a matter, since you don't have a lot of time, it's more of a matter of just getting to the key and getting out. There is a gray bottle in the very center, right underneath the door. But this is more of a matter, well, and those 3 bricks that are right above me have hidden items and a fairy bell. So the other side has the exact same thing, a fairy bell in the center, and then 3 items right there. Coins and jewels. I don't think I went all the way to the other side to get those. I don't remember. But yeah, we only had about, I think, a dozen or so games, and only maybe a handful of Super Nintendo games, if that. Yeah, I didn't bother going, so I didn't show everything for that level, but it's just identical on the other side. The same bell and then the 3 items over there. This is another interesting stage. Basically what you want to do is you want to just trap these things, like I'm about to do here. Not sure what I'm waiting on, but... Oh, I think I know. So, it drops down... I don't know what I was waiting for there. It drops down so many, and then I thought it paused for a little bit. but it didn't seem to. Like it took a break in between some of them, but I don't know. So I trapped that side. Oh, that's what I was waiting for. Is I trap the right side, and then now I'm gonna trap. I was gonna trap the left side, and then realized I should go do the right side first. So I got those traps, so now I can go to the bottom. I don't want to get that super fireball, so I shut off some. And as you see, it starts to kind of glitch the screen when it has too many things going on at once. Right in the middle there is 2 of those, which will kill everybody on the screen. And on the left side is the same, where it just has the gold coins. Up at the top, you have a gray bottle, and I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like an origami bird, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but I think when I was looking through there, I don't think I saw the actual name. Just gonna look real quick and see if I can find it. Doesn't even say what it is, it just says 100,000 points. Kind of bummed now because those are the only 2 items that I couldn't really get. I mean, outside of like some of the coins and whatnot, those I didn't collect every single one. And I clearly didn't collect the hourglass things for every single one. But the bunnies, I should have been able to collect those. This stage, you got 4 Sparkies that are really fast. It's not overly hard or complex. It's just a matter of getting around them and trapping them. You gotta be kind of quick. So basically I trapped that one down there just to get that middle one over there and get him trapped as well. Then this bottom one, I can just let him go. Keep him trapped up there for now. And then all I'm going to do is let him back down into the bottom area where he was. The only other thing in this room is at the right side of the door is a 1-up. Oh, and coins up where the fairy is. There's coins up there too. I had problems jumping. Yeah, the amount of times that I played through this game for about 2 weeks straight, I was really hoping to just get a really clean run through the entire thing, which didn't happen until after about 2 weeks of playing. I was like, well, I got this down, so I was able to get through the whole thing with only dying a few times. So this is another one that's kind of a maze. you want to make sure you get 2 bricks underneath the 2 mirrors at the bottom there. Get the Sparky out of the way and trap him. And the weird thing is the guide that was online says that you need to go through this room twice, which I don't quite get, because once you fall down and get the key opens the door and you fall right into the door. So I didn't quite understand their explanation, but see, since I didn't put that brick down there, I couldn't get over there. So you want to make sure you put, so now I kind of screwed myself. So I want to make sure you get 2 bricks under the 2 mirrors, get the Sparky out of the way, and don't let that fire get in your way either. I'll grab the gray bottle. That'll give you some extra time. But it says that you will go through this room twice, which, like I said, doesn't make sense because you don't. Once you go up the right side, you go across the top, drop down, and then go back up kind of the middle left side there. You want to make sure you get rid of that block there that I just did to get that fire down there, otherwise you are stuck. So getting those 2 blocks on the mirrors, getting that fire down will let you get through there. Oh, and there's also the zodiac symbol up at the top. I should have been keeping, I had these up here. I was gonna go through them. No, I can't find it. I had a chart here of all the items, of all the zodiac things. There's 12 of them. No, I can't find it. Okay, I just had some notes in front of me, but... Another hidden room. I don't really need to get anything because I have Super Fireball at the beginning, so I don't really want to waste that. Alright, well, I can't find the notes that I had. Basically what it was is just it listed off the different zodiac symbols and what they are. But if you know anything about zodiac symbols, you would recognize them anyway, so you would know what they are. This room is a little weird because it says, well, you need to get that little symbol down at the bottom there. But the walkthrough just tells you to make a bridge all the way across the middle. Which, sure, I don't know how with the 2 ghosts going there, but somehow it wants you to make a bridge through the middle. But all it is, like I said, I just dropped down at the bottom. There was a Super Fireball right in the middle there. Drop down to the bottom, get the seal. Oh, it's right there. And then there's just a bunch of items across the middle there. So I think what they meant is to build a bridge like I'm doing, but one level up. That way I'm not having to worry about the bottom ghost. So I don't know why I didn't do that, but basically just showing you where all the items are in the middle is what I'm trying to do. That's all. There's 5 items across there, and the one hidden orange one, which gives you a super fireball, and the seal is down at the bottom. That's all. Oh, and there's a gold coin. I don't think I got it, but there's a gold coin on the right side of the door, which there's no way I can really get that right now. Yeah, I didn't even get it, but on the right side of the door, there's a gold coin. This stage is kind of annoying. You kind of have to go fast. So you get the one up right away, but you need to go through, and you pretty much need to collect all those little gems. I don't think you need to get every single one, but I think you need to get most of them because you need to be able to put bricks down there to get over some of those levels. A lot of them you can jump over. But right in the middle there is a fairy bell. The bottom left side is a 1-up. Bottom right side is the orange thing, which apparently I didn't get. I skipped over apparently. But anyway, the bottom right side, just like the 1-up, is one of those orange things which kills everybody, which... Oh, so I did get it. Just forgot about it. And then up at the top, there is an orange hourglass right in the middle one up there. And there's no getting around that. So if you're running low on time, it'll be handy. But once you get it, you need to go right, get the key, and then go back left. So there's still plenty of time to get everything. Just don't really want to do what I'm doing. Is kind of wasting time. You just want to get through this as quick and as efficient as you can to collect all those, because you need to go up the right side to be able to get the key, and then across the left side. And in the center is another one of those gold face looking things. Which is just points. This next one is kind of a maze as well. But you need to be kind of careful with the fires, because you need to go up the right side. Oh yeah, and there's a wings at the bottom there if you want to warp. But you need to go up the right side to get the key, and then back down, and then across to the left side. So you don't want the flames to go all the way to the bottom. I think you can still get all the way through, but I'm not sure offhand. Just trying to think of which way it goes, but yeah. Oh, and then right in the center is a Sphinx, which is just points. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to put a little walkway for myself to be able to get to that. Which just gives you points. And like with those things, you can trap them. Or just let them go down the right side there. The key, there's a grape bottle in the center there. And there's a bell on the left side in the exact same spot. A lot of these rooms are kind of mirrored in a way. Where like you'll find an item on one side and then the exact same spot on the other side has a different or very similar item. So I guess that's kind of another interesting thing about this game is a lot of the stuff is kind of mirrored on a lot of the game, or a lot of the rooms. Yeah, and just work your way up the left side. And there's a bell up there. This room is kind of a pain, but you want to drop down and get out of there and get all the way over to the left side and put a brick there above that fire, otherwise you won't make it across there. There is a paper mache thing in the middle above the key, and the zodiac thing right there. No, right above that brick that I put there. Yeah, and that's the only other hidden thing. Well, there's a bell. There's a bell right in the center under that center flame. I don't recall if I got that? Don't remember now. But there's a bell right underneath that center flame. I think I might have missed it, but... So basically, getting over to that side to be able to drop down, get the gargoyle. Then kind of just play Bowser's Castle at this point. Jumping over the fire. And I could just go up to the top at this point, but I want to get the Zodiac thing down here. Another thing with monsters that you drop like that, and then there's that puff of smoke. That puff of smoke can kill you. It's annoying, but it can kill you. So there's been a few times where you're standing, you drop a gargoyle or something like that, and they turn into a puff of smoke. Yeah, that got a little too greedy right there almost, and cut a little close. But anyway, the puff of smoke, if you're standing too close to it, like when they die, you will die. Kind of just like I almost did right there as I jumped right into it. It's kind of annoying, but I think with a lot of these rooms now, I pretty much skip through them because there's nothing for me to get. I don't want to waste the super fireball that I have. And other than getting points, there's nothing I need from these rooms. And I guess if I was going for points, I could go and try and get everything, but... Alright, this is another one. So you can either use... Well, there's a couple things. There's a fairy bell down there. And there's a coin. One of those and a little gem. And there's a gray bottle at the top center there. Right there. Give you some extra time. So, with this, if you have some super fireballs, you can kill off all those Sparkies. But if you don't, you're going to have to do something like this and trap them. And since I don't have a couple super fireballs, I'm just going through the process of getting them trapped. Which I kind of screwed that up because now they're all out of sync. So go down to the bottom here and do it this way. So that basically traps them there, and that lets you get down to the bottom. And then you just need to do the same with the ones at the bottom, just get them moved over. Yeah, I kind of goofed on that one, so I was trying to get them moved over. It wasn't quite working too well. Oh, as long as you get them trapped like that, then you're fine. You can get the bell, get the key. There's another bell on the other side. This one is pretty much straightforward. You just drop and get the key. And just don't do what I did. Because if you put a block there, the block that I'm standing on, it is a orange hourglass. And there's a gray bottle on the right side, which I got already. But basically you just fall down the middle and get the key and get out. If you want to get the 2 fairy bells, you can. Just don't hit that first block. Get the 2 fairy bells. They will slowly work their way up through the center, and then when you drop down and get the key, you can get both of them as you're falling. So this is another one of those rooms that's kind of a pain. Kind of a maze you have to go through. So basically you want to climb up one side, and there's a 1-up potion that's kind of right in the middle between the top 2 flying gargoyles. I don't remember what they were called. So you either want to use a fireball and get rid of them, and or you want to basically put a brick in that spot. Yeah, I didn't let that flame drop down, so I was kind of stuck. So basically you have the blue hourglass, and then right above that is a 1-up. But you want to put a block there. You don't want to do that. I was trying to make a block so he could go the other direction, but... So anyway, you basically want to put a block there and not uncover the 1-up until you get the key, because then you get the key and then you fall down. And it gives you something to land on, and you're not falling all the way to the bottom. Not really much else to explain to this one. Well, other than getting those gold coins all the way too, so you can make bricks. There are some interesting kind of jumps and things you can do. Like what I just did there, where you jump diagonally from one brick to another. Can be kind of tricky sometimes. Sometimes it just works perfectly fine like that. Sometimes you hit your head and then you can't jump across. So it's a matter of being in the right place and just getting the timing down. And you want to get rid of the gargoyles as well, because then you have them shooting fire at you. That's one problem I ran into when I went through this a few times, is I'd get the key and I just could not get my timing right. So just like that. So you want to put a block there in the center so you have something to fall onto. But the timing with trying to get around those gargoyles and the fire going across the top was kind of a pain. Yeah, and I would have certainly died in here because I'm almost out of time. And that's why the blue time is there. Basically, it resets you back to 10,000. So once you get up there and get the key, you can get down and get that blue one. And then I'll give you some more time, but... yeah, I would have died right about now. Or like that. Yeah, like I said, once you get up in the 30s and 40s, some of these rooms actually turn into puzzles that you have to kind of figure out. And they can kind of be a pain. So what I'm going to do with this one, I was initially going to break this up into individual videos, which is what, I don't know how many other videos are out there, but I know there's at least one other video on this game, and they broke it up into individual videos for each room. But that was back before we had timestamps. And I was going to do that with this one, then I was like, well, I can just use timestamps, and it basically works the same as breaking up the video. So I'm not going to break this up, it's just going to be one long video, which is, I think, about 2.5 hours long. But then I'm just going to put timestamps for each room. So if you need to get to a certain room, you can just use the timestamps and easily find each room. I think I probably died here once I got the key as well, because I didn't do that right. Yep. I should have just turned around and put a wall there. That would have given me some time to drop that fire, but I didn't do that. So I think this is one of the longest rooms, just because I screwed up so many times. And I thought about just editing the video and just cutting all that out and just showing the ending of it, but that's what ended up getting me in trouble, and why I spent 2 weeks going through this trying to make it just a perfect video, partially without dying and partially with just getting each room done the way it's supposed to be done without screwing it up. But you know, even though I've played a ton and used to play a ton, I'm not perfect by any means, so. Okay, had a little distraction there, but so this room reminds me a lot of Donkey Kong. And you gotta be kind of quick because those things move pretty fast. And those little wizards, I don't remember, mini wizard, I don't remember what it was called. But they are kind of like the goblins, where they see you and they start running fast to come at you. Which is handy for the very top one, because just because of the timing, I guess, really, with those things coming down, to be able to try and drop him and get away from those things, so kind of a pain. Like that. I get killed by the heads, but also wanted to get him dropped. But yeah, a lot of this is just like, it just feels like Donkey Kong trying to jump over the barrels. There isn't much in this room. There's a bell right in the middle there. There's the hourglass at the top. And now I just have them trapped up there, so I don't have to worry about them coming down. I don't remember if I got the bell right in the center, but on the the second row up, there's a bell right in the middle. Just don't remember if I got that or not. This one's pretty straightforward. Nope, not this room. I forgot about the hidden room. And now that I'm out of fireballs, I can go through here and collect a few. The room after this, room 37, is pretty straightforward. If you just get the key, you can just work your way straight up into the door. The door is pretty much the top of the room, but you have to dodge a bunch of fireballs. But it's pretty much a straight climb up. There's nothing else in this room. There is 2 hidden bells, and there's a hidden grape bottle. If you have a super fireball, which I clearly don't at the beginning, that's another thing I don't think I mentioned, but like on your scroll, and you probably figured this out by watching this, but at your scroll, the fireball that is all the way to your left on the scroll is the first one you use. So right now I have 2 small, which would be the first 2 that I would use, and then I have a super, a small, 3 super, and then a small. And that's the order that they would go in from left to right as I use them. So if I would have had a super fireball in this next room, I could use it. It would kill off all the little wall monsters. But I don't. So I'm just going to collect everything and work my way up to the door. So, pretty straightforward, but you gotta watch out for the fire. Alright, and now we have another kind of a weird maze room. You get 2 fireballs here. Make sure you drop those 2 fires, and then you get 2 fireballs. So I can use up 2 fireballs and get rid of the 2 ghosts. And if I would have just shot the fireball off, it would have gone straight forward and it wouldn't have done any good. So I'm crouching down and the fireball will follow the wall, which will let me get it down to the bottom where I need to get it to. So down at the bottom you have coins right there and on the complete opposite end. And then you also have a blue hourglass right there. I just need to make sure I get up and get that fire down. That's why I did it on the other side. Oh, and there's a bell there. I think this was another one where I had problems with the gargoyles at the top, but I don't remember. Going there. Oh, this is another one where you get a bunny. Which is the exact same spot, but opposite side of where the hourglass is. But since I can't get it, I just fall through it. Again, the only reason is because I didn't know you had to hit it to turn it color. Which, now that I've been thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I knew that back then, and I just clearly forgot. Yeah, I want to make sure you get a block there too, otherwise when you fall down, you're going to fall all the way to the bottom. Yeah, so if you clear out the block, the goblins will fall straight down. But then you also want to kill any goblins because they will just keep shooting fireballs. Trying to get back over there quick enough so they didn't start dropping more over there. So this is the... So if you have a fireball, you can use it on those, but if you save your fireballs, there is the second Mighty Bomb Jack in this room. And like you saw with that Sparky there, trying to keep everybody trapped on the bottom there. That's what I'm trying to do. With that second Sparky, lost my train of thought. Trying to keep all the Sparkies trapped down at the bottom there. But with that, when you first come in the room, you have those two, the Sparky and the Gargoyle, flying right at you. So you don't want to get the key, because you can come down here, and this is where you get the Mighty Bomb Jack. Hit that brick 11 times. And then everyone will turn into a fairy. So anyway, you have those two coming at you when you first come in the room. And if you make a wall or a block and then remove it when the Sparky's on it, as you saw, the Sparky goes straight up. That's the easiest way if you don't want to waste any fireballs. There's some other items. Yeah, I started to go up and then I forgot. But there is a orange diamond there. Give me another fairy bell. There is a bell right in the center. And there's also a blue hourglass right there. But you can't get any of those once you get the key. So once you get the key, you can't get the Mighty Bomb Jack, and you can't get those 3 items. So it's a little tricky on the timing and whatnot, but if you can trap some of the Sparkies down at the bottom, work your way up like I did, avoid the key, you can get Mighty Bomb Jack, collect all the fairies, and then head out. Oh, and there's a warp. Oh, I completely forgot to get it, didn't I? But anyway, right on the... I totally forgot to get it. So on that level that I was on with the door, all the way to the far left was a wings for warping. This room is kind of interesting. So the walkthroughs say to jump over the Sparky at first, which I did, and now it's going around the outside. And then it says to make a block there to get that Sparky, make a block, and then remove it, and that should trap that Sparky onto the thing that I was standing on. Kind of tricky, I didn't bother with it. I had a super fireball, so I just used it, made that room a whole lot easier. Or if you just have a fireball, just get rid of the sparky and you can kind of work your way around everybody else. So in this room, there is the hidden zodiac thing, which we got right away. There's a key. There is a jewel right there. And there's 2 fairy bells at the top. And a 1-up at the very top as well. On the top right. So 2 fairy bells. And the top right has a 1-up. Alright, we have about 10 rooms left. Some of these are fairly easy and straightforward, and some of these are going to get kind of tricky. These next 2 actually have the little hidden, well, we've got a hidden room first, but level or room 41 and 42 both have one of those little orange face guys, black face, orange coin, whatever you want to call it. Mighty coin, I think is what it's called in the instructions. Just gives you points. Yeah, the next one, fairly straightforward, but you'll have demon heads coming right out of 2 mirrors at the very top, and you have 2 ghosts coming side to side. So you wait till the ghost pass over you, and then jump over the demon heads. Which now I just realized, that's why I paused for a second, I just realized that I'm setting this video up as an entire 2.5 hour video to walk through every room. But I also put timestamps in there, so if you want to go to a single room, you can go there and get through it. But like now where I'm talking before I even get in the room to explain the room, I've done that a couple times. So if you're using the timestamps and you've skipped over some of these rooms where I talked about what to do in the room before you even get in there, kind of goof that up, but oh well. Because I'll still, I mean, you can still watch it and figure out what I did. It's not that hard. So, jump over them 2, and then go directly to the left to get down there. Get that coin, and then you're safe. There is a gray bottle on the right side. Right there. It'll give you a lot of extra time. So I'm basically trying to get a trap on the right side here to trap them. And doing that on the left side as well. I mean, there is the orange thing down there that'll kill everybody, but oh, and everybody broke through. What the heck did I do? I didn't put an extra brick down there. Which doesn't really do any good because then I still have to go through and go back up that side. So that wasn't too bright. And I can't go up through the middle. So that was kind of silly. There's nothing else here, so it's just a matter of getting to the door. So just drop those down on that side. Do that on the left side, drop them down to get them out of my way, and go right to the door. And that was the one that you want to drop down through the door at the top. Because apparently, if you were to drop down that door through the top on that last level, then you can, when you spawn here, you can do the little thing with the wand and jump up. And then this level will be really easy because it'll let you get up to those coins right there. And then all you need to do is get the key on the far right and then go to the door, instead of going through this whole mess of going through the bottom and everything. And pretty much almost getting yourself killed. So, I'm not going to re-record all this and backtrack, but if you want to go through this on stage 41, if you drop down through the door from the top instead of jumping up into the door from the sides of the bottom, when you spawn into this room, it will let you jump right away, and that'll let you get up to where those two little jewels are at the top there underneath those fire things. And that'll let you go right to the top. Well, and at the same time, there's a coin, I guess they call it the Mighty Coin, which is the orange coin with the black face. That coin is right there in the center between those two blocks, so there's no way of getting that without falling through the door from the top on stage 41. You just can't get to that spot to get that coin. And if you can't do that, then you have to go through this entire room like I'm doing. Just kind of a pain. There you get your key. Drop the fire down and go out the door. So not that long of a room to get through, but this one is kind of a pain. So if you don't have a super fireball, the only way to get through this one is timing. Because what you have to do is jump over these ghosts like that. And you can do it. I've done it before. But you have to slowly work your way over to the right by jumping over those two ghosts. And if they're not in the right spots or you don't have the right timing, it can get to be a pain. So since I had a super fireball, I just got rid of those two. The rest of the room is pretty straightforward and easy. There's a bell there, which I didn't get. Don't know why. I didn't even put a block underneath there to get that bell. I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but I could have just climbed up there and got that bell to start with, or I could have put a block underneath it so when I was going over the top I could have got it, but I didn't. There is a hidden bell right there, and in the center there is a sphinx which just gives you points. right about where the fairy is. In that block right there, there's a Sphinx that you can get. Which I don't recall if I tried to get that or not. I must have, because I stopped here, but could just go straight for the door. But I didn't get the... Oh, so the Sphinx is another one of those things that if you, like the 1-up, if you die before you get it, you don't get it. Which is kind of annoying with a few of these things, but... So this room, you want to break those 5 bricks right there, those 4 and then that 1. Get those out of the way first. And then you want to drop that flame on the left side. Get that all the way to the bottom and make sure you cover it because you're going to fall down that chute right there. Because that top brick right up there is a hidden zodiac thing. So drop the flame, put something over it, get all the way up and get that block underneath that flame at the top there that I just did. And then work your way and get the key. There is those origami little things right up there. Right there, which I didn't get for some reason. I completely skipped that over. So anyway, right on that brick right there that I'm standing on, underneath there is one of those little origami bird things. Don't know why I completely skipped over that, but... And there's a bell right there. You want to make sure you drop that fire down, and then you got to go work your way over here. Like I said, you could just go, well, you couldn't go right to the door from there, but if you want to get the zodiac thing, make sure you hit the fire so it goes down so you can jump over it. Get the zodiac, get that fire to drop all the way down, and then work your way all the way back over. Now here, I screwed up because I didn't put a brick So the brick that I was standing on, I should have put a brick underneath that to give me a platform so I could jump over that fire. I could have jumped over that fire as it was if it would have let me jump across and not hit my head. But since I hit my head, it dropped me down. So I could have made it. As is, without putting that. I think when I go through it this time, I think I put the thing there, but nope, I didn't. So I did the same thing. Well, I guess at this point I don't think I need to go back down there. I already got the zodiac thing. Still didn't get that horse thing or whatever bird thing that it is. Completely missed it, I guess. I screwed that up too. Oh. Yeah. So I completely screwed up that level. Again. should have just dropped down and went through the whole thing the way I should have went, or the way I went the first time. But I didn't do that. I think I was getting a little frustrated at this point because still didn't do that right. But, like I said, in my defense, after playing this for about 2 weeks straight, I was just probably a bit frustrated at this point. For how many little screw-ups I did. But if you can about imagine playing through this game back in the late 80s when there was no instructions and no cheat codes and no, maps or anything on how to get through this. Okay, so there I did it right. You pretty much had to sit and figure this out on the handful of lives that you had. If you screwed up, you screwed up. You had to start all over. And you had to just keep working your way through each maze in each room to try and figure out which blocks to move, where I needed to go. And of course, as you can see, there's no... this one has the key. I was going to say there was no key in this room. I was thinking of the room that had the key that was hidden in the top right corner, but that wasn't this room. It just had the key in the bottom. But yeah, the rooms that didn't have the key that you could just see, you had to go through and make and break bricks. It was original Minecraft. You had to make and break bricks until you found the key. And if you ran out of time, then you had to start all over. So even though I died, I still had to get the shrine or the zodiac thing. So that's what you're supposed to do. Put a brick there so I can just jump over that flame. And as you can see, you can jump diagonally from brick to brick. It's just can be kind of tricky sometimes, just having to be in the right spot. Perfect example of fairies being a little pain. Alright, so that was a pain. Next hidden room. Don't really have... Oh, not next hidden room. So this room is annoying as well, because you get the key to go in there, but you need to get the page in order to get the better ending. But you need to be able to break that brick down at the bottom there. How do you break the brick? Hit your wand on the door. How would you have ever figured that out? Who knows? So once you do that, you can go up through the top and get the page. There's also a little thing in the corner there. But yeah, if you didn't get that bottom brick removed, you would just fall down and you'd be trapped in there. So you get the key and you can get out of the room no problem, but trying to figure out that's what you had to do by hitting the door once with your wand, just insane. So this one you want to make sure, because the key is on that far right brick right there. So you want to make sure you get the brick out from underneath that flame on the right side. Take care of this gargoyle. And then you want to remove the brick underneath the flame on the left side as well. Get another one of those. So there's 2 hidden coins underneath the mirrors. And this is just kind of a matter of timing, getting up. Yeah, if you get stuck like that where there's too many, I would just run out of there and go back and start again. And you can just jump over them, or you can use the blocks to send them back. There's your key. And if you don't get rid of that block underneath the flame, then you're kind of stuck. Same goes for the flame on the left side. If you don't move the brick underneath it, you are kind of stuck. And you can't even get to the top section, and there's nothing up there anyway, but this stage is interesting. This requires a lot of timing and patience. And there's quite a few interesting things in here. There's a genie lamp. There's another one of those little origami birds. There's a gray bottle. And an orange hourglass up at the top as well. Oh, and this has another one of the... There's your one up, which is a genie bottle. This one has a seal. There's that. But the seal is above the door, so if you don't get it... Right there. So if you get the key, you're not going to be able to get that symbol. So you have to get that symbol before you get the key. So now it's just a matter of knocking all these little goblins off their platform. Which for the most part, the bottom ones are fairly easy, and that one's fairly easy to do. The rest of these is where it gets a little tricky. And I'm not even sure how to explain it, but you're just going to have to kind of watch. So you're going to want to get that next one from the left side, which I'm working on doing here. And then you go... I think you go up to the one in the middle of those 3. But you need to do that avoiding the salamanders as well. Which is interesting. Because trying to get the timing of these two, because you got 2 that come out fairly quickly. So you don't have a lot of time. Oh, I just realized we're on room 46, so we got about 4 more to go. Okay, so I was wrong. It's the top one that you take out. Not the middle one. Because, yeah, the middle one, I don't know how you would do that because the salamanders would come right behind you. So, yeah, it's a little tricky. Just might take some patience and some good timing. This is another one of those crazy maze ones. So what you want to do is you want to get down as soon as possible and knock that block out from underneath the mirror there. And then there's the one up. Open that one up. And this is one of the ones that you, from what I recall, you have to go through a couple different times. And here, you want to get right on the edge of that without hitting the flame. So it's a kind of a tricky little jump there. Along with that, where you fall down and hit that brick, because you need to get over there and open up that doorway. So that will probably take a few tries, unless you get it right on the first try, where you fall, hit the brick, and then open up that whole area. And then make sure you put the brick back up there where I did. Otherwise, when you fall down, you're not going to be able to, you're going to fall all the way to the bottom again. Drop those two flames on top of each other. Trying to remember what else is in here. Oh, there's a... Oh, I think I missed it. So there's a Sphinx head in this one. Right there. I missed it. So right below where I was standing, in that open, like directly below where I am, there's a Sphinx head. And there's also a bell down at the very bottom, which I completely missed. So right below where the Sphinx head is, all the way straight to the bottom right corner, there's a bell. And then above that is the Sphinx head. And then all the way to the top to the right, you saw there's the seal, which I think that's the last one. I think. Because we're on room 47. So now it's just a matter of falling down there. And room 48. Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, when you get to the end here, you get some crazy maze ones. So this one, kind of at the top, not where the flames are at the top, but kind of in that middle row, there's a bunch of items. There's a 1-up, there's a gold coin with the black face, there's a star coin, there is your zodiac symbol, and one of those origami things. And then, I don't know if I got it. I must have got it. There's a bell right there. Yeah, I would have gotten the bell. So that's another one where you have to get used to jumping diagonally without getting hit by the flame. And make sure you hit your wand on the flame so it goes down. So for a lot of these levels, there are obviously more ways than one to go through them. I think I went over there to put the block below the mirror, if I recall. Yeah, get that flame down and then put the block there so you can cross over that right there. But a lot of these rooms, I mean, the beginning ones are fairly basic, where you can do pretty much anything to get through the room. Just get the key and go. and or get all the items. There isn't really any kind of maze to go through. And there's the Zodiac right there. But a lot of these rooms at the end, there isn't too many variations. You pretty much follow one path to get out. But that path includes doing a lot of very specific things. Like this one, I have to drop down and get the key, and then I have to go back completely through this room again in order to get it. Oh, what I was trying to do while I was sitting there is that block right there that I was trying to hit as I was falling has the star key, and if I was able to get that and get on that ledge, then there is that orange and black face, the mighty coin, I guess it's called, right up there. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever gotten that coin there. I don't know. Because you have to be able to fall, hit that block, and go into that ledge right there while you're falling. And I didn't need to go all the way over to the right because there's nothing there. But, I mean, you can go up that way if you want. So I think I'm going to try it again. Yeah, as I fall down. So there's the coin, but getting into that ledge right there, I don't know how. I suppose the first time... Okay, so that would make sense. So the first time you fall down, you would want to break that brick. So then the second time you fall down, you can move over into that ledge. But the first time I fell, I couldn't get that block to go away. So I'm just going to look for a super fireball in this room, which is right there. Almost ran into it. Which, like I said, I completely forgot, but once you get to the last room, you lose all your fireballs anyway, so... Oh, and that was actually the last room. Okay, so that was the last actual puzzle room. I mean, there's still more puzzle rooms, I guess, but these next two rooms, I don't know. Yeah, so this is the princess room, and I don't remember. Let me think. I don't have anything in my notes. So I don't think you can get to this room unless you get all the seals. Because the last room, which is the next room, that one you get to no matter what. That's like the last room. But this room... Oh yeah, I should have made a note. So this room, I don't think you can get to unless you get all the seals. You just skip this room, so you don't get the really good ending, basically, because you don't free the princess. You still get a good ending if you beat the last room. But in order to get here, you need to get all those little the seals, Solomon seals. This room is really weird because in order to get into that center area, you need to go down to the bottom and you need to hit that flame with your wand first. And then drop it. And then go to the other side and do the same thing. And then that'll let you into the center of the heart. And in order to get to the fairy princess, you have to touch her with your wand. So that little crack right there, you have to duck down and hit her, which I just did there. Now, that'll let you open up that door. So Some of these rooms are just the weird things you have to do to get them. And there's two little horses down at the bottom, little things. So here's the very last room, which looks like you can't get through anything, but the gray blocks you can break through. So you want to break through those two blocks, get all the way over to the bottom right side here. And this just takes patience and timing, because you need to break the brick that's right above you and then get up into the center. And there's no way to get into the center area unless you hit your wand on that mirror that's right above you. So these rooms at the end are really weird. So there's two little origami things in the last room at the bottom. And you don't want to drop those flames. Well, you need to drop the flames to get them out of your way. But you need to hit those flames. Almost died. You need to hit those flames with your wand first before you drop them. And then that will let you open up the inner area of that heart. But then in order to get into the last area, you need to hit the fairy princess with your wand. Yeah, so these last rooms are kind of interesting. And this lets you get all the fairies out. And then it sucks back in all the demons. And that is the end of the game. So yeah, without a walkthrough, this game was quite interesting, because there, so many weird little quirks and flukes and stuff that you had to try and figure out. Like I said, back before there was internet, and back before you had Nintendo Power or any kind of anything to figure out how to beat the game. And that's what I want to start doing. There's quite a few games that I've beat, but I want to go back through and record playing through the game so you can see what the game is like and see the entire game and kind of do a walkthrough. So that's basically what I'm going to do, is since there's quite a few games that I've beaten, I want to go through and actually record playing through them, because I have a bunch of videos on this channel of games that I've beaten, of the ones that I recorded back in the 80s and 90s, but it's just the end of the game, and it's viewable, but it's a crappy version because it was recorded on a VHS tape. So that's all we had to be able to record back then. And now with everything now, you can easily play the games and record them and have a nice copy of them. And I know there's a lot of people out there that love watching these games, and I know a lot of people watch people play on Twitch and whatnot, but I'd kind of like just to go through and play all these old Nintendo games that I haven't played in forever, and just kind of do a walkthrough of them and get some more posted on here. So that is all. I did go through the end here, and it just, I think when you just press the button, it starts you over. It shows like a game over screen, which you'll see here in a second, but it does like a game over screen, and then it just lets you start over. So it's nothing too interesting, but this screen just goes on for a while if you just let it go. And then you get to game over screen, and that's it. So, hope this helps if you want to play this game and have a walkthrough to go through. And thanks for watching.